You know, an often overlooked part of financial freedom and a better life is love. We minimize the effects and the benefits of love on yourself, on your life, on your children, and on those around you. Today, yes, we've been talking about recovery from domestic violence and various situations that impact your financial freedom, but we're going to talk about love as a means to financial freedom. So love helps in more ways than you can imagine. It isn't just the foo-foo lovey Valentine's Day. We're gonna get some chocolates and some flowers. No, that's not the kind of love we're talking about. We're talking about the kind of love that impacts your life for the better and impacts your health and those around you as well. So grab your cup of coffee, pull up a chair, subscribe and like, and let's dive into this idea of love as a means and a path to financial freedom. Love is not only the greatest path to healing, love is also beneficial in many ways. So we're going to do kind of a deep dive into what WebMD talks about and the benefits of love, 10 surprising health benefits of love. For some people, the only time they seem to get attention or have something to discuss is when it has to do with their sickness or some issue. But there are many benefits to actually being healthy and living a long, happy life. One, it's better for your life insurance policy, which I constantly discuss with you all in my book, 10 Things I Wish I Knew as a Single Parent. But also, there are so many other benefits. Let's do a deep dive into what WebMD says. Number one, we're going to talk about 10 things that help you and grow and to have financial freedom with love and good health. Okay? The first one, when you have love, you have fewer doctor's visits. Yesterday I spoke to you about the fact that it takes more muscles in your face to frown than it does to smile. So you have fewer doctor's visits when you have love. Do you know why that is? Because the lack of love contributes to stroke, heart disease, some of the biggest killers in the lives of women. When you don't have love, when you don't have forgiveness in your life, it is causing you health issues. Number two, less depression and substance abuse. Do you think if somebody was filled with love that they would be going around using drugs and alcohol and things that impact their lifestyle? Probably not. A lot of times we're using substances, drugs, alcohol, marijuana, whatever, because we're trying to get that feeling. We're trying to embrace a feeling of love that we can't seem to get any other way than when we're somehow high. And there's a lot of people that seem extremely happy when they're drinking, when they're drunk, when they're high. But the reality is they're not, because it's going to be a downfall later. You're going to have some sort of a hangover or something later. So the reality is we're trying to find love in ways that are not healthy. But let's look at benefit number 3, according to WebMD. Lower blood pressure. Do you know high blood pressure contributes to many diseases, not only in women, but in others? So having low blood pressure is caused by just having a lot more love in your life. Because when you have love and you breathe, take a deep breath, it actually lowers your blood pressure and gives you better health and a longer life for those around you. Perhaps you don't even care about your life. You just say, you know what? I don't need love. I'm just gonna, who cares about heart disease and high blood pressure? But maybe the people around you care. Maybe you have children that need you. Maybe you have siblings, cousins that need you. So love impacts not only you, but those around you as well. Number 4, less anxiety. Have you ever seen somebody who has a lot of love in their heart with tremendous anxiety? Love and anxiety cannot coexist in the same person or the same body. So if you have anxiety, you're not displaying the habits, the benefits of love. So love, even looking at a situation from a loving perspective, will minimize your anxiety. And that is even when horrific things have happened in your life, you still can embrace love. WebMD also says, number 5, love is a natural pain control. I mean, tell that to somebody who's given birth. Myself also, who's had natural childbirth. I'm not sure. I definitely love my children, but I'm not sure love alone would have minimized that pain. But In other areas, it does minimize the pain or the effects pain has on your thinking, on your body. When you have love, when you're doing everything from a perspective of love, many times is in the mind, in the brain. It's a decision. It's how we live our lives and how we interact with others. Number 6, WebMD says it's better stress management with love. Did you know that? You're doing yourself a service and those around you when you display love. Have you ever been around somebody who's just like constantly stressed out and running around and frustrated? Is that somebody you want to be around? I typically do not. And that is not displaying love either. We all have things to be stressed out about. We all have issues in our lives. We all are seeing what's happening in society and in the world. But you know what? A little love, according to WebMD, minimizes the level of stress and the effects it has on your body. Do you get your flu shot every year? Are you getting colds? I wonder if the cold and sickness pharmaceutical sales would decrease if people had more love in their hearts. It actually says you would have fewer colds. So many times not having love or displaying love is creating either psychosomatic symptoms in your body or actual symptoms in your body because you are not displaying love in your heart. And love affects every organ in your body. So let's listen to WebMD, if we're not going to listen to God in the Bible, and show some love, have some love. Does that mean your brain just falls out and you just tolerate everything? No, that's not what it means. But you definitely want to be in a position more frequently where your thoughts and your ideas are more of a loving nature. WebMD number 8 says you also have faster healing. So somebody who's maybe had surgery, had a given birth, anything that's gone on, maybe they're recovering from cancer, you actually have faster healing when you are receiving love and when you're displaying love to other people. Isn't that amazing? Faster healing. Perhaps you would go into remission for whatever you're experiencing if you were able to show love in your heart. Perhaps there would be fewer cigarette sales, fewer alcohol sales for the sake of stress management. Not just to have a glass of wine, we're not talking about that. But there would be fewer people with substance abuse problems, and they would heal faster if they had love in their hearts and love from those around them. Number 8, according to WebMD, love contributes to a longer life. Isn't that awesome? A longer life with love. Sometimes we see people that are 100 years old. We saw Betty White. She was still working into her 90s, and she was always smiling. She was such a happy person to watch on television, to see her. It actually gives you longer life. Do you know you are destroying your life the more bitter, angry, and frustrated you are? But if you can just operate from a position of love, you will probably have a longer life. And last but not least, number 10, according to WebMD, you'd have a happier life, you know? Imagine getting up every morning and you're just grumpy, miserable. Nobody wants to be around you. You don't even want to be around yourself. What kind of a life is that? That is not a life. But if you can just get up and embrace whatever is happening, it doesn't matter what's happening. Even in situations where people have been trafficked, where there's abuse, you can still find something to be loving about, or a loving situation. There's always something. It could be a sunset, it could be a river, it could be your nieces, your nephews, whatever. There's always something to be loving about. So follow WebMD's guidance. Love is the greatest path to healing. It is very responsible for your financial freedom. What would be the benefit of making a lot of money and being miserable with it, and then having all these health problems? You can't even enjoy it in the first place. Sonia Gallion Comunica, SoniaGallionComunica.com, and the author of 10 Things I Wish I Knew as a Single Parent, where we talk about all things single parents. And wishing you all an amazing day.